Okay. There is a thing about the Buddha's teaching I find scary, and it was something that you said, Yuttadhammo, is that when we see things as they are, we lose the idea of beauty. So I won't be able to find a female beautiful ever again. I find some things about the teaching good, but some things are just whack and scary.
I thought whack was a good thing. Isn't whack's not a good thing? Dude, that's whack. Whack is bad. Oh, whack is bad. Learn something new every day. Well, there's this story that Lumpo Jodok, this one of my teachers, he was presented with this from a Westerner, who said he came to his teacher and came to Lumpo Jodok and said, Lumpo, I'm very afraid. I don't want to practice anymore. He said, why not? Well, because I love my girlfriend, and I'm afraid that if he said, I'm afraid I'm becoming enlightened, and if I become enlightened, then I won't want to stay with my girlfriend. And Lumpo Jodok just laughed and said, don't worry about it. There's lots of defilements left for you to hold on to. I mean, the answer to this question that I like to give is that you only give up what you want to give up. So, is killing good for you? When you engage in murder, does that make you happy? And do you think that's a good thing to cling to? This kind of thing. I mean, we're dealing at that level. So we're trying to understand how killing is wrong, how stealing is wrong, how these things are really corrupting our mind. If you still find things beauty, it's really, really far more of a, a more subtle defilement, and it's something that eventually you decide for yourself. I mean, intellectually, it's not that difficult, because females and males, human beings, are not beautiful. There's nothing beautiful about them. We're full of blood and pus and urine and feces, and you think females are beautiful, but if you were to cut them up into pieces and put them on a plate, would you want to? Would you find it beautiful then? I mean, what is it about the female form that you find beautiful?
Or the male form for the females.
Form. If you don't wash it, it becomes smelly and so on. I mean, it's mostly, it is really illusion. I mean, why do dogs find female dogs attractive? Do you find female dogs attractive? I mean, some people do, I suppose. Do you find female rats or female dung beetles? Do you find them attractive? It's illusion. It's something that we develop in our mind based on the perception of the perception of this as being an object that will lead to our gratification of our sensual pleasures, and of course the brain being hardwired, not hardwired, but being wired to think in that way and to recognize and to react to that which is recognized as an object of sexual attraction. So this species is attracted to its own species and not to other species. It's but intellectually it's not hard to see that there's nothing, or in general that how could something be beautiful and something be ugly? What does it mean? And of course artists have explored this for generations. But because they didn't have the Buddha's teaching, they weren't able to see that there's no real mystery. There's just is no beauty there. Right? Beauty is a concept that arises. It's based on, in the case of sexuality, it's based on, as I said, the brain and the mind and how it works together. Sexuality is something that is remembered by us. We could even say, from a Buddhist point of view, it is a construct. We're not, humans aren't a natural thing. It's something that we've constructed from generation. Even from an evolution point of view, humans are not natural. They have evolved from a series of, as biologists would say, from a series of physical mutations. But from a Buddhist point of view, from a series of mental and physical mutations that include our memories, our perceptions, our recognitions of things as this will bring me pleasure, this will bring me pain. And so we have these fear instincts, and we have these sexual instincts, we have these attraction instincts, we have the eating, the food instincts, and so on. Oh, and we're going to... I don't know. And so these are things that we have developed. We have cultivated them over time. For the reason that we remember them as being pleasurable, and we develop the habit of remembering them as being pleasurable. And this leads to, we would say, leads to instincts, leads to hormones, and leads us to react in the way that we do. It's just a construct. It's a formation that we have developed into a habit, and that leads you to think that this is beautiful, but you're actually thinking this is going to bring me pleasure, and it does bring you pleasure as you look at it, and so on. And it starts the chemical receptors in the brain working, and so on. It's an addiction, just like any other drug addiction. It doesn't lead you to peace, happiness, and freedom from suffering. But, that's all the theory behind it. As I said, it's not the most important thing. The best thing is to take it as like a sweater, no? You have this woolen sweater, and you just start pulling on the loose end because you want to get rid of that loose end. And then you just see what happens. The secret is that at the end you wind up without a sweater. So in the end you let go of everything. As you start letting go of the things that you are clear bring you suffering, you see more. And you see more subtle attachments that are also bringing you suffering and not bringing you any benefit. But it's only by seeing things clearly, because of our views and our beliefs, and therefore our fears and our worries, we get the idea that these are intrinsically beneficial, and that to give them up would be suffering. But that's just an intellectual view. It has no basis in reality. The more you give up, the more happiness you have. People have the idea that an equanimous person would be boring, would be a zombie, and this is just an idea. If you can prove that empirically, then that's something else. But reality shows us something quite different. That the more desires, the more attachments we let go, the more happy and carefree we are. The more clear our mind is, the more bright and enlightened our mind is.
What I'm going to say might sound as if it is in contrary to what Bhante Yuttadhammo said, but it is really not. I just want to add that the conception, the perception of beauty might change during the course of meditation. Beauty might still be experienced. But it can be then different than you see it now. Beauty might come then from within your heart, and so even a very ugly thing can, what for others might be ugly, can for you be beautiful. When you let go of the concept of beauty that you have now, and when you see the beauty like, oh, this is the beautiful woman, and follow after, it is not that really there is no beauty at all, but as I said, the beauty might come from without your heart, or from within your heart, and that makes a thing beautiful.
Yeah, it's a good. I mean, it's a good point that. Well, I think the real point is that beauty is just a word that we use. No, what do you mean by beautiful? In the sense that it's being used by the questioner. As I said, it has to do with attachment and really, in the end, delusion. But it's not to say that you can't use the word beautiful in a correct way, and you can use it to describe wholesome states. If a person is generous, you can see them as beautiful. That's a beautiful person. For that reason, that's a beautiful thing they did, for example. But you're just using the word. What does that word mean? I think that's the perfect use of the word. If someone does something, like I think my teacher is quite beautiful because I see him as a very pure being.
Yeah.
But he's just an old man who, farts and spits and so on. But that's, he does it quite beautifully. So I don't think anyone would find. Sorry, I don't even think I should say things like that. But he's certainly, he's an old man, and yet people find him quite beautiful because he is a beautiful person. And the point is to ask what that means in terms of Abhidhamma, in terms of what are the mind states involved with an experience of something that is beautiful. In that case, I would say it's an appreciation of what is wholesome, which is also a beautiful thing. It's beautiful to appreciate things that are truly beautiful. So certainly, I didn't want to say that everything is, that there is no beauty. But there is there's no object of the sense that has intrinsic beauty. Physical beauty is just an illusion. I mean, you can say something's beautiful. It's in the end meaningless. I don't think you can define that. I mean, that's the problem I said that artists have, how to define what is beautiful. And so they wind up stretching the limits and finding attraction in things that are unattractive and so on. And, in pictures that are ugly, they twist it in such a way that the mind wants to take it as something beautiful, but can't, and so on. And like Pablo Picasso or so on, finding ways to manipulate this, so that when you look at his faces, they're almost beautiful, but then the eye's out of place or something like that, and you come to see that the beauty is just this concept that we have, or it's a recognition because we have the ability to recognize faces and so on. Okay.
Mm-hmm.